Hi there. My name is Ann Mallow, and I'm the Executive Director of Global Animal Partnership. Today, I'm talking to you about how you can, contrary to popular belief, teach an old dog new tricks. I know, that's a bit corny, but really, when it comes to driving change for better welfare, this is actually what we're looking to do. Today, I wanted to take some time to introduce you to our organization and also to talk to you about our Better Chicken Project, which is a great example of how we use our core values and practice to continue to drive our mission forward. Global Animal Partnership, or GAP, is an independent nonprofit farm animal welfare standards and labeling organization. We use our standards to positively impact the lives of farm animals raised for food. If you were to take a 30,000-foot view of our program, it's really quite simple. We set tiered standards for each farm animal species. Third-party certification companies conduct the audits and make certification decisions for each and every farm every 15 months. Any company, from primary producers through to manufacturers, source GAP-certified proteins to make and label their products as GAP Animal Welfare Certified. And then consumers look for the label and feel good about supporting the program and the producers that raise the farm animals. GAP is a small organization, but we work really hard to bring value to all of our partners. While standards is the backbone of our program, it's just a piece of what we do to support the program as a whole. In addition to the work we do to continually improve our standards and drive meaningful change for animals, we also work tirelessly to support our partners. Everything from looking at how we can use technology to make us more efficient and bring potential new opportunities to our partners, to helping them transition their supply chain, look for product, or find homes for excess product. In addition to that, we help our partners and their customers to tell the story through team member training and various marketing initiatives. GAP was started back in 2008 by Whole Foods Market. The first pilot launch we did with Whole Foods was less than 100 farms. Since that main launch in 2011, we've grown the program to a little over 4,000 farms across 11 different countries, and we impact the lives of roughly 416 million farm animals annually. We've grown the program to over 2,500 labeled products, and you can find GAP certified products in over 5,000 outlets. The GAP program is animal welfare focused and has been since the very beginning. To understand how we set standards, it's important to understand how we define animal welfare. The three bubbles that you see here on this screen are the three core principles we use to define animal welfare: that animals need to be healthy and productive, or else you don't farm for very long; that animals are sentient, meaning they can feel and express emotions like pain, boredom, and happiness; and that in acknowledgement of those emotions, that they are raised in environments that support their natural behaviors. In addition to these three tenets is the understanding that you need to make sure that caretakers have good husbandry skills and that the animal has been selected for the system they're being raised in. Those tenets form the backbone for all of our standards. The GAP Farm team all have graduate level degrees in animal behavior and welfare, as well as years of practical knowledge. So we do a lot of the work in-house to draft and field test our standards. We are also firm believers in collaboration. This sometimes means it takes us a bit longer to do things, but we feel this level of engagement and collaboration with all the stakeholders is key to buy-in and getting a standard that works. Our standards are comprehensive and cover the entire life of the animal, so our rigorous process is really important. One of the goals of our program is to look at offering a comprehensive program, both from what the program covers in terms of content of the standard, the supply chain, but also in terms of the species covered. When GAP first got started, we only had standards for beef, pork, and chicken. And while those may be the main farm animal species in the majority of the case, and a lot of the products that are made, we felt we needed a program that covered the entire meat case, as well as the entire protein offerings. So we also added standards for eggs, recently launched a new dairy standard, and we'll be launching a farmed salmon standard by the end of this year. GAP is also unique in the structure of the program, offering different levels for farms to be certified to. These different labels that you see here on the screen are used across all of our terrestrial species. Our aquaculture standards will have a similar tiering, but we'll have a different set of labels because we didn't think an aquaculture company would want to put farm animals on their package. The consistent use of the label was an important piece of the program from an implementation standpoint. Our base certification or step 1 label on the far left-hand side of the screen also allows brands the flexibility to source from a variety of suppliers while showing their commitment to animal welfare. One of the other really significant differences between our program and other animal welfare certifications is that in order for a product to be labeled as GAP certified, each and every farm used to bring product to market must be audited and certified every 15 months. Other programs only require a small sample of farms to be audited every year, even though all the farms can label their product. If you think about it, if you're only looking at 10% of the farms each year, then it can take you 10 years to see an entire supply chain. And just as a little tidbit that we thought you would like to know, our standards cover working dogs and barn cats as well. So really, another way to look at the GAP program is that it's more than just about giving animals what they need. It's about giving them what they want. The pet food industry has had a huge impact on the program. Without the pet food industry, GAP wouldn't exist, actually. When we added pet food partners to the program, it was a game changer because it had a huge impact on utilization for many of our partners. It improved the economic equation of certification and supporting farm animal welfare. It made many of the processing plants see the value in segregation, which was huge to us. As well as we improved standards and added new programs like our grain finished on pasture program and lamb program, the support of the industry helped make those programs a success and also support better lives for farm animals. Here's a list of our partners, some of whom will be with us on the panel today. I can't really speak at a meeting hosted by the Pet Sustainability Coalition without saying something about sustainability. GAP currently takes a very holistic approach to sustainability, but this is something that we're really looking to expand upon in the future. We look at it from, not only an economic standpoint, is our is our supply chain economically viable and sustainable? But with our standards, can we set standards, look at areas we consider wasteful? So for example, we look at animal longevity, with some of our standards, mortality and culling, or a couple other examples, because the longer that we can keep animals in the program and the fewer of them that we have to cull or that die, then the less waste there is. From a land perspective, this is an area where, as I mentioned earlier, we're looking to really enhance in future iterations, either with the standard itself or through partnerships. But we currently set requirements around vegetative cover when animals are outdoors, pasture rotations, and also have tight requirements around predator control so that producers need to work to live in harmony as much as possible with wildlife and keep their ecosystems in balance. There's a lot of opportunity here for the program, but it's really exciting because many consumers feel that animal welfare is a component of sustainability, that you really can't have one without the other. This is actually a nice segue into an initiative we just finished, our Better Chicken Project. Of those 416 million animals that are certified to the GAP program annually that I mentioned a few slides ago, roughly 390 million of them are broiler chickens. Because of this number, we felt we were uniquely positioned to help drive change for broiler chickens. As a bit of context, chicken is the most popular meat consumed globally. It can be produced very efficiently, and with selection, gains in this area have been huge. There's about 68 billion chickens produced globally, many of which are actually produced in the US. And as you'll see here on the right-hand side, chickens are actually getting bigger more quickly. If you look at the image on the left-hand side of the page, what's really important to note here is that these birds are actually the same age. Just in 1960, the birds grew much more slowly. And now here in 2020, they grow not only much more quickly, but they're also much more muscled than they were in the 60s. And of those 68 billion chickens produced, more than 90% of them are those fast-growing birds like the one we just saw on the previous slide. And right now you might be thinking, wow, what a success story. Through selective breeding, we've created a super efficient bird that grows fast, puts on a lot of muscle. But unfortunately, that selection has led to multiple animal welfare issues. The modern day broiler is less active, and because of that, they are more likely to suffer from foot and leg lesions because they spend a lot of time lying in their bedding. and they can't interact with their environment like they would like to, not because they choose not to, but because they can't. But it's not just animal welfare issues that are actually a problem. We've also seen a huge increase in muscle myopathies, or basically muscle abnormalities is another term for that. So from a meat quality issue, it's a huge problem. And this actually, if you think about it, really impacts sustainability as well, because a lot of this meat can't be used. And as you can well imagine, has a huge economic impact on the chicken industry. You know, we've always known the importance of genetics in animal welfare, but with this project, we decided to make genetics a front and center in our initiative. To help us with our Better Chicken project, we funded an independent multidisciplinary research project at the University of Guelph in Guelph, Ontario, Canada. It's the largest of its kind to date. It tested 16 different strains of chicken across over 65 different parameters, from behavior to anatomy, physiology, immunology, production, and meat quality, just to name a few. We used the results of this study to come up with a protocol that we're going to use to evaluate breeds for eligibility for our program moving forward. But we're not alone here. Animal advocates are also working on this issue, as well as some other programs around the world. And they have their own initiatives and coalitions, but they've secured over 200 commitments from companies in North America and Europe to support the change to a better chicken. We know this is an absolutely huge initiative and that change takes time. We've got an initial list of the broiler breeds, but with our process, other breeds can be tested as well. And if they meet the criteria as detailed in our protocol, then they'll be able to be added to the list. We'll be adding an implementation timeframe to this initiative in the next version of our broiler standard due out in 2022, because we know that our partners will want to do some testing of their own just to see which of the new genetics work for them. But the breeds are public now, at least the initial breeds. And like I said, we're hoping to add more. And really the GAP team is here to work with you. If you've already signed on to this initiative or are interested in doing so, we'd love to work with you. The pet industry was a critical piece to our success in driving change for farm animals, and we hope that you'll help us do this for broiler chickens with this initiative as well. Thanks for your time today. If you have any questions, please reach out via this email alias here on the screen or via our info line. I also hope that you'll stay and join us for the panel.